Good afternoon to you, man. All the way, George Page comes to you live on YouTube. As you know, we just the bodybuilding season is about to wind down. There's two more professional shows left. I think it's a few more NPC shows, I believe, and the season's about to end. We will not see any more real bodybuilding until about, well, maybe around about the March, maybe. Some shows, like usually the biggest show that comes around that year is the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, and we're hoping with things we like I said, the big thing was we hoping that the pandemic will settle down, where the shows can get back to where they were. Like I said, I talked to some bodybuilders. I said the best part of the shows is like the convention part, not just going to the shows, but going to the conventions, doing the shows, and talking to different vendors, get to see and run into bodybuilders, and just it's just the best part of it. But anyway, I'm going to do another comparison, and these are two bodybuilders that are considered, I think, are legends. The lady here on the right is one Miss Brigita Brizovic, and she's a bodybuilder from Slovenia. And the lady on the left, you all know, is one Iris Kyle, aka the lady Ronnie Coleman, 10-time Miss Olympia, and she's making a return in about a few more weeks at the Miss Olympia at the Olympia weekend with a return of female bodybuilding. Now, these ladies have amazing physiques, great bodies, and I mean, it's just they're both legends in their own right. I'm a big fan of it. Like I used to follow Brigetta on Facebook. We used to often talk back and forth. And she don't be on Facebook anymore. Quite a few bodybuilders have dropped off of Facebook. And and Iris, she's a legend, and she has always come. She has been, I would say, 10-time Miss Olympia, but 9-time consecutive Miss Olympia. As you know, she won the title back in 2004, and she lost it in 2005, but then she regained the title back in 2006. And after that, she was straight champion from that time on. Now, anyway, I'm doing like a little comparison of these ladies. Great body, great physiques. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of female bodybuilding. As you know, Iris has been considered one of the greatest female bodybuilders of the sport, and one of the most winning bodybuilders, not just female bodybuilders, period. She surpassed the records of such bodybuilders such as Lee Haney, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ronnie Coleman, Linda Murray, Corey Everson. She is setting records. She has not also, you can't forget, she's also a 7-time international. She has, she won the top title at least 7 times, with one loss in 2008 when she, came in seventh. And I think that was the year I remember somebody saying that she had some kind of funny zit on her butt. And well, from what I heard from other boys, I think it was something else. But Iris has a great physique, amazing body, and I'm a fan of female black bodybuilders, and just great chocolate complexion. And you know what? It's just a great body. She just was a legend. And with her return, this was where, truthfully, was stamped really maybe a possible 11 wins. She might set an all-time record that no one will ever beat. With the return of Miss Olympia. As you know, her last competition was back in 2014 after they canceled Miss Olympia from the IFBB lineup. As you know, there was talk because of the fact that few bodybuilding where it was going, and many of the promoters felt like they wouldn't want to sponsor anymore, and that's why they finally dropped from IFBB. But then, thanks to Jake Woods or the Wings of Strength, they brought it back, and now Iris is coming back to maybe try to make 11-time champion herself. Well, technically she will become a 10-time consecutive Miss Olympia if she does win. But like I said, this is where it's a possibility. Now, Brigetta, she's from Slovenia, which is, if you know, the same country where the president's wife's from, and she's been competing since the early 2000s, and she was one time, she also was competing as a fitness competitor. She even modeled for some time, and there's a picture of her I forgot to find it where she was like a Playboy bunny for I think a hotel someplace in her country, and she just transitioned from fitness to bodybuilding. She's one of considered one of the largest female bodybuilders, and around, and she's one of maybe few bodybuilders from the country Yugoslavia. Now, and she's pretty big. She's like five. When she was 5'10", she's pretty tall. That's pretty tall for a female. And she just had a great physique, amazing body. I mean, she has competed in quite a few Miss Olympias during her time. She made her pro debut back in 2009, and she was doing pretty good. She had a couple of first place wins at the Tampa Bay Pro, and also the Europa, where remember the Europa Battle of Champions, where it used to be where Betty Pariso and her husband Ed, they were the promoters, and that was when they still had female bodybuilding at the Europa until they dropped it. I think after 2011. But she's been to Olympia. Her first Miss Olympia in the same years was 2010, which she had 10th place. And then she came to Olympia a few more times. Her best placing was in 2011 when she got third. And also after that, she retired after her last Miss Olympia in 2013. And that was the year where, right before they got rid of female bodybuilding from the Olympia lineup. And also that was the same year when they dropped after the last Mr. International at the All Schwarzenegger Classic. Like I said, I used to follow Brigita a lot. She was on we talked back and forth quite often on Facebook Messenger. And she would try, like I said, she tried after that last Miss Olympia in 2013, and then she was married and she had a husband, and eventually she had a daughter. And I remember what was her daughter's name? I forgot. And I think she had a daughter maybe 2 or 3 years after retirement. I think the little girl's got to be about 3 or 4 years old now. And but you remember she's also on my video for one of the most buff female bodybuilders out. She's just amazing body, just huge. And, maybe if she came back now, she'd be not too long, but if she was still competing now, she would be, I don't know, a top seller. But she did have a pretty good record. But anyway, these are some great women from the sport of bodybuilding, and this is just amazing comparison. They both faced off before, and Brigetta coming in, you know, in the top five, in the last few years of her career before she left female bodybuilding. But like I said, if you're a fan of these ladies, and you're just amazed by their bodies, and just whew, I mean, Brigetta was a giant. But Iris, she was a giant killer. But anyway, I just want to see, just to make a comparison how these ladies are just different shapes and different forms, and just unbelievable, just legends of Miss Olympia. This has been our Raise George page. Like, don't subscribe. I'm out.